Welcome to the 2020 Midwesterns, part of the APTA Grand Prix Series. We're live at Hyde Park Country Club in Cincinnati, Ohio on the APTA network presented by eNet Live. Brought to you by our national sponsors Viking and Uline and our local sponsors Roto-Rooter, Total Platform Tennis. I'm Brad Easterbrook alongside Mark Fischel, bringing you the women's semifinal matchup between our number one seeds of Cooper and Hanisch and the number 3 seeds of Prop and Shpiz. Mark, why don't you tell us a little bit about our players?
Well, we have the number 1 seed and the number 1 ranked team in the country, Annika Cooper and Flor Hanisch. Flor is a teaching professional at the Westchester Country Club, and they're going to be facing Heather Prop and Wendy Shpiz. There's a look at the court, and you see Shpiz and Prop on the near side. Wendy is in the black vest, Heather's in the white vest. And on the far side of the court, taking off her yellow jacket, is Flor Hanisch and her partner Annika Cooper in the black on black. Would that be an accurate description, Brad?
I'm going to go with green shoes as the defining characteristic of Annika Cooper's outfit there.
You are a fashion aficionado, Brad, so I'm going to yield to you on that.
Well, thank you very much. So our umpire, you can see, giving the players instruction. I believe that's Georgianne Koch in the umpire's seat, warning the players about foot faults, telling what she expects in the match. These guys are all pros and been here many times, though. So what do you think a bit about the match?
Well, let's take a look at the Viking keys to victory, Brad. So for Cooper Hanisch, Annika Cooper's missed the entire season with a bad elbow. It started last year at Mixed Nationals. She was unable to play. So her elbow and her fitness level are clearly in question. And the final key for me is no donations. Because if they play well, they're a prohibitive favorite in this match, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think I'll add to no donations for them to make sure they play a cohesive style. They've had some struggles in the past going back and forth between multiple styles, which makes them versatile, but also can get them into a little bit of trouble.
They are both great competitors, and they just kind of find a way to gut out matches that some other teams might not. I mean, they do have a plan B and a plan C, which we talked about was lacking in the Barron-Danica game, and you won't find that from Cooper Hanisch.
And let's take a look for Prop and Shpiz. And for Prop and Shpiz, there'll be a couple of similar things out there. The first one is dealing with the blitz. Hanisch is a great blitzer, very quick. She loves to come in behind Annika Cooper's dipping drives. And Cooper doesn't always hit them hard, but she dips them down. And they finish points quite a bit. The other key is going to be Shpiz forehand, which is a huge weapon, but from time to time, it can kind of go off the rails here and there. But in general, it's a huge forehand. And then the third thing, which sort of goes along with the first, is that's handling the return of serve. If they're not able to deal with a blitz, stay back, play the long points. Make sure you stay in them. Don't give away too many points on that first couple of shots.
Yeah, we saw, again, Barron-Danica's inability to do that. Lost way too many points on return of serve.
It's a tricky part, and always one of the hardest things in the game is to be able to hold serve.
Well, I think on a day like today, Brad, it's less tricky because, as we talked about earlier, there's so little value in maintaining the net.
Well, yes, but that's assuming you've already come to that conclusion on your own. Whether or not the players have and how they deal with it, that's what we'll see out there.
And isn't that the essence of the game, is adopting to the conditions, low sun, north-south court, windy day, warm day, just figuring out what you can do well under those current conditions.
And speaking of current conditions, we got the umpire here.
Semifinal of the Midwesterns, the Region 4 Grand Prix Series event. On my right, we have from Bedford, New York, Annika Cooper, and her partner from Stamford, Connecticut, Florentina Hanisch. To my left of the chair will be from Cincinnati, Ohio, Heather Prop, and from her partner from Winnetka, Illinois, Wendy Shpiz. Annika and Florentina will be serving first.
All right, so there you go. We got Hanisch and Cooper starting off kicking. We were talking just briefly about current conditions. So rain's been a factor today. You can see the court's wet, but the rain has stopped again. If it comes up,
you switch sides back.
It will definitely make a difference out there. Right now it's dry. The ball should play pretty normal. We shouldn't see any hydroplaning or anything.
Play well, ladies.
And we should, of course, mention that Heather Propp, hometown local favorite.
Okay, Floor Hanisch to serve to Heather Propp.
Love 15.
There's that Shpiz forehand. She's got a pretty huge weapon.
15 all.
And Propp is one of the best lobbers in the women's game.
She does a nice job taking the ball early, bunting up the lob, and then surprising you with quick roll backhands. She's got a pretty good backhand. Forehand, she's got a very severe continental grip, but she can do things with it if you bounce the ball high. If you hit it sort of soft off the deck to her forehand, she won't really hurt you.
And there's that big backhand from
30-15.
Cooper.
Would you say that's her better wing?
Unquestionably.
But she can dip the forehand as well.
Yes, she can. But that
Yeah.
backhand is a beautiful shot.
Now you will notice, I mean, I think that's one of the differences on the court too. Being that her backhand is so good, you got to be careful
Turn it
hitting it into that side wire when she's in the backhand, which is a common thing for a player to do. That's a great volley there, nice soft hands. It's a good hard shot at the crease. Well played there by Heather Propp. That's the dangerous ball though.
Yep.
I mean, she got away with it there.
30-40.
Now, we mentioned in our keys to winning, Mark, time on the court or Cooper's elbow injury. She's been out. But they did get some good practice at a pro fight event earlier. But definitely has not been on the court much at all this year, Annika Cooper.
And that's the
Yes.
type of play that Propp and Shpiz are going to have to be successful with, because their margin of victory today, Brad, is very thin.
Now, why do you think that is? Is it because Cooper and Hanisch, I think, overall have more weapons on the court?
Yep.
Yeah, I think Cooper and Hanisch can hit the ball from more places on the court than Propp and Shpiz. Now, Propp and Shpiz can easily compete and take this match, but they have to play a good one tactically. That's a huge forehand there from Shpiz.
Add out.
That ball just explodes off her paddle.
She does have a great forehand.
And I really think they need to get off to a good start. I mean, I think Cooper and Hanisch can win from anywhere. I think Propp and Shpiz need a good start. Those are the mistakes that just kill you, Brad.
Yeah, I mean, I think they've played every point well, but you saw a little bit of a late blitz from Shpiz in one point, and they're just a missed lob. And like you said, it's not that it was a poorly chosen shot, it's just poor execution, and I think, you know, Shpiz and Propp
Add
can
in.
afford less of those types of poorly executed balls. Again, that wasn't a bad play, but it's
Two
another
donations
miss.
in a row.
And I would much rather see her let those balls drop and go long and deep to the right hip of Cooper when she's in the ad court, rather than hit the down-up overhead to the side screen that Cooper might cut off with big backhands.
Great
Yes.
roller from Heather Propp there. Takes us back to deuce. She is a smart player. See her lining up for her backhand.
And also one of the
Got it.
sweetest and greatest competitors are out there. She's another one of those that gives incredible effort out there, but is one of the nicest and best sportsmen on the entire tour.
Chairman of the APTA Women's Players Committee.
Deuce.
All right, back to Duth. A little back and forth here.
Add in.
Great volley from Cooper there.
Yeah, but misread there from Heather Prop. She moves to the center to hit the drive down the line, but doesn't go back to recover a corner. Just gets stuffed. There's the heat, and also a little bit of a mini swing there from Cooper. Just want to absorb the pace on that one. That's a good down the line lob, looking to set up the Shpiz forehand.
Yeah, you can see Cooper just look a little rusty to me. A couple of swinging volleys, forehand there.
Yep. And I think Cooper and Hanisch, maybe we should have put this in the keys to winning too. They've got to be careful with the middle of the court against prop and Shpiz. You got the prop backhand, which is better than the prop forehand, and then you got the Shpiz forehand. So that middle of the court in the backcourt for prop and Shpiz is very dangerous. I'd like to see them play medium pace out to the sides or rolls the ball into the corners. They want to play the edges.
Big rip from Hanisch there.
Now, Hanisch loves the blitz, but she can crack it from the backcourt too. Oh, great dig there from Shpiz.
Oh, she gets the shot too. Moved around early. Just fails to execute.
Had a good look. But they're going to have to make that, they need that shot. I don't have any problem with her taking it. So we just got to notice that Heather Prop wearing a knee brace out there today. Always a warrior. She has a torn meniscus, getting surgery on it next week, but out here doing battle.
The surgery next week means she's unlikely for nationals.
I can't imagine how she'd be in it.
Yep.
It's a real shame. This is one of our top teams.
So, Brad, that's the type of game that if you're prop and Shpiz, you need to win.
I mean, they had opportunities, but it's also the type of game that they should play, meaning they were within their, within themselves, playing the right kind of game, lobbing the right ball, but they just didn't execute a couple of balls.
But that's the thing that troubles me. If they'd lost the break points through better play from, Cooper and Hanisch, okay, I get it. But they made a couple of careless errors at the big moments in that game, and that's something they just cannot afford to do today.
Fair enough.
Okay, Heather Prop to serve to floor Hanisch.
Ooh, unloading. And we got our other semifinal going on soon as well. And that'll be Dardis and Shea against Sikora and Morgan.
Who do you like in that one, Brad?
Oh, geez.
Another good swing.
That's a good matchup. I'm going to go with Sikora and Morgan. But, betting against Dardis Shea has been a fool's errand for a lot of years.
Yeah, it has. It's amazing how long those guys have played, and they just grind and compete.
Well, that's the thing. They'll find a way to grind it or turn it into a different type of match. They'll get down and dirty when they need to.
Okay, 30-15, second game. I think it's a really important game, really important start for prop Shpiz.
What's your call on the other semifinal, Mark?
I agree with you, Brad. I think it's foolish to bet against Dardis and Shea.
40-15.
And I really felt like, while it was a big win for Morgan Sikora, I felt it was more of a loss from Barrington and Nika and just played poorly.
Foot fault.
Yep, Prop called for a foot fault.
Heather, I called a foot fault, sorry.
Okay, nobody seems to be aware that she called a foot
The
fault.
funniest thing is Hanisch and Cooper have the ball, and the umpire said, "Hey, is anyone listening to me?"
She actually apologized there.
I'm really sorry for that. That's funny.
40-30.
40-30. Oh, followed by So we go quickly from game. That's an interesting mental turnaround.
Yeah.
You know, going from thinking you won the game to politely being told you were called for a football and then faulting the next ball.
Big forehand there from Hanisch takes us to break point.
Out.
Oh.
Deuce.
Boy, that was Van Storm. That was Cooper at her best, where she catches the ball early, blocks it back, and follows it up with the blitz.
She had a high ball, but like we've said, we've seen more of those missed than made today so far, Mark. But there you see Hanisch and Cooper starting. It's hard to say, not say Van Sarenberg, and going to the blitzes a little more often now. It's one of our keys to victory. Prop and Shpiz are definitely going to have to deal with that. And that pressure, it's even more than one individual point. It's that overall pressure that you feel. That's a great shot.
Game, Cooper and Hanisch. They lead 2-love.
I don't expect Prop and Shpiz to be phased by that at all, but they had the game in their hands, and then it turned right around. You can hear the noise level inside here kicking up. It's a huge crowd in here watching hometown favorite Heather Prop. Great spot on that drive. That's one of the things that Heather Prop does so well, Mark. She didn't crush the drive, but she spots it.
So here's where I wonder where the offense is going to come from.
You mean from Prop and Shpiz?
From Prop and Shpiz, yeah.
Prop and you
Prop
kinda
and Shpiz.
There you go.
And here they fall into their one up, one back.
Yeah, smart play. And that's what you'll see from Cooper and Hanisch quite a bit. When Cooper goes back a little far, she'll go all the way back, like right now, just there. And then the drive will either get cut off by Hanisch, who stays in, or Cooper will take that ball off the screen, dip it low again. Hanisch continues to stay in. It's one of their great plays. So they miss fewer of those transition volleys than other teams.
They played a couple of tournaments last year exclusively one up, one back.
Yep. Wreaked havoc for a couple of teams for a few weeks until people started to understand a little bit more how to play against it.
I think Myrthe Molenveld was actually having nightmares about it.
Oh, they played them, and I believe Molenveld beat them earlier in the season that year, and then it was like an 0-1 when they brought it out. And here's the pressure that Hanisch will put.
Boy, Shpiz gets out of that, but those are not the points you want to play against Flor Hanisch.
That's a great shot. Little cut, hit the seam. Definitely want to play the ball long, deep, and to the right hip of Cooper.
And the middle of the court is where you want to play the ball as well.
Absolutely, but shaded towards Cooper's forehand, 100%. That was long.
Boy, they've got to close this game.
15-40, yep.
At game points, the first two games failed to close either one out.
I think it's like we talked about a little bit in matches before. You don't want to see Prop and Shpiz play from behind for long stretches.
There you go. They're
Game,
on the
Prop
board.
and Shpiz.
Take it.
Score is Cooper Hanisch 2, Prop Shpiz
Well,
1.
You know, to me, that's a great example of just getting the ball on the court. your opponent's going to make some mistakes.
Sure.
If you don't, one more ball. And that's a ball you expect Flor Hanisch to make.
I mean, she didn't play the wrong shot. She's letting it drop. She's going to play an overhead long and through the court. Tough ball for opponents to drive. But like we said, we've seen a bunch of execution errors, just people dealing with a little extra degrees of temperature and little spots here and there. So Viking Athletics is the premier brand and undisputed leader in platform tennis. Viking is platform tennis.
Okay, Wendy Shpiz to serve, and she's staying back.
Yep. And
there's
that right there, you
15
mentioned just
love.
quickly before, Mark, where are we going to find the offense for Prop and Shpiz? That Shpiz forehand is where 70% of it's going to come from. And the other 30 from the prop spot drives. But this is, I don't love that because the ball dropped low. Should have lobbed it up, had her partner come back with her.
But you were going to say I like her staying back,
Correct.
which I agree with.
Correct. That's why.
15-30.
In the modern game, that first volley is such a hard shot, and it also puts so much pressure on your first serve. But by staying back, you avert both of those shots.
Well, it starts with putting the serve in the box, though.
That's very helpful.
There's that huge blitz. Well done, and that's exactly what we're talking about.
They lead 3-1.
It's hard to win with 2 faults and a missed screen drive. That probably should have been a lob.
Yeah.
But
those are the
thought
mistakes you
process
can afford to make.
wise, I like Prop and Shpiz and what they're doing. They just got to have to play better. Oh, missed it.
15 love.
Now, Cooper Hanisch, is that intentional matching dress or unintentional?
I'm going with intentional,
You going with intentional?
although you are the fashion maven.
Yeah, I'm going to go with intentional as well.
15-30.
Oh,
30 all.
great lob from Heather Prop. You were talking about that before.
But a really
Very good
smart
lobber.
overhead from Cooper.
Too good a volley there from Hanisch.
40-30.
Too much of a risk from Shpiz, going too far to hit her forehand.
Yep, you're going to travel that far away from your home base. You better hit a big shot.
Yep. Wasn't that bad a drive, but she's just too out of position. One of the difference makers I feel also for Hanisch
Game,
and
Cooper
Cooper
and
is
Hanisch.
Hanisch has a pretty good
The
first serve.
set score
She
is
hits it a
Cooper
little
Hanisch
harder,
4,
deeper, spots it.
Prop Shpiz 1.
For Cooper, the serve can come and go a little bit. Great
Yep.
start for Cooper Hanisch. All right, Uline. Uline is the leading distributor of shipping, industrial, and packaging materials to businesses throughout North America. They ship over 2.5 million boxes every day, but they are so much more than a box company. More than 32,000 quality products are always in stock and ready to ship. Outstanding customer service means they're here when you need them, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Uline, the best selection, products, and people for an unforgettable customer experience.
Okay. Another prop to serve.
15 love.
Nice serve there.
They have not held serve as of yet. Hanisch held twice, and the other 3 games were all breaks. Look how short in the court Cooper plays. She just catches that ball early.
Wow.
Good forehand there from Hanisch.
That was beautiful prop. Thought she was in good position. Didn't have any room to get it by her. She was wrong.
She was wrong. Hanisch is just, Cooper's just always inside the baseline, looking for that ball early, trying to catch it at its apex and steal time from her opponents.
That's exactly a great way to think of it. Really, really good hard overhead at Hanisch there. Nice shot by Shpiz. She's got that. I like that little addition. Keep her on her toes. She actually hit Hanisch with that one. And the way you described it is perfect for what Cooper's looking for. She's not looking to step in and crush the ball. She's looking to take it early at its apex, dip it down, and then follow behind it. Wow, good.
But you just feel like
30, 40.
Cooper and Hanisch just keep coming, and they keep coming. And those shots are all repeatable. They can play that point over and over again.
Solid play. And they're going to have to find a way to get these overheads to not have that apex. You know what I mean? Let it drop, play it longer, lower in the court, where they're going to get killed. And one of the ways they're going to have to deal with a blitz, that's wide.
Game, Cooper, Hanisch.
Great start. Cooper Hanisch playing very well. And Prop and Shpiz just not executing. They got to make a couple of changes.
Too many opportunities they didn't take advantage of. Right, those first two games, they could have won both and ended up winning neither.
Yep. And I'm coming back to what you said about the apex of the ball. I think one of the keys is to not hit very many shots that are bouncing up and down for Prop and Shpiz.
The Jim Kaufman overhead.
Just let the ball drop a little, push it longer in the court. Make sure that if Cooper's standing in, you're hitting the ball long and at her feet, not bouncing it in front of her.
Cooper continues to struggle with her serve.
Serve is a bit of an issue for Cooper, and this is a big opportunity for, I think Shpiz and Prop need to break 70% of these.
Oh, there Cooper goes underhand.
Yep. And there you see Hanisch, though, just staying at the net. Oh, too bad.
30 love.
This is good. That was an intentional drop, I don't think, from Cooper. I think it was a mishit, landed short.
5 all.
15 all.
Oh.
Well, there you see Hanisch reaching with the forehand.
She was completely fooled. Prop just, like we talked about, spotted the ball, just pulled it wide on Hanisch. She was completely looking through the middle. Shpiz was looking to move a little too much to that middle, but
there you saw Cooper dropping back. Gardis and Shea up 2-love in the first set, just as you predicted, Brad. Well, she's close to being over the net in that ball.
So what is the rule there, Mark?
She's allowed to reach over the net only if an event the ball travels back over the net. She can't reach over the net to make contact with it if the ball would come across the plane of the net.
It's got to cross the plane of the net first, right? You're allowed to follow through over the net. I tell you what, Cooper Hanisch playing tough. Cooper and Hanisch look very good.
The team
Very
their
good.
first tournament of the year. A little bit of a surprise.
You know, it's funny, one of the keys we put in there was fitness a little bit for Cooper, but this is really efficient play right now. And
30,
the match
40.
before, in their quarterfinal, I mean, they were through that in 45 minutes. So,
Yeah, you got to be able to stay in the court with them to find out about her fitness.
yeah, got to work her up and back.
Boy, the serve looks completely out of rhythm, doesn't it?
I mean,
Set scores
you could attribute that
5,
whole game really
Cooper
just to the
Hanisch 5,
serve.
Prop Shpiz 2.
Yep. So they played 7 games. Cooper served twice. Those are the only 2 games Prop and Shpiz have won.
Right. Yeah, they're going to have to break her all the time to be in this match, but they're really just going to have to step it up another notch. But I don't mind the way they're playing. They're just going to have to tighten it up. They can't afford too many of those loose plays. All right. So one of our sponsors we'll talk about on the next changeover because they're quick to play here.
They are changing sides fast. Okay, Wendy Shpiz to serve. Down
But don't you
2-5.
think if you were propping Shpiz, you'd want to maybe slow it down a little?
Love 15.
Yeah, they don't see any of that.
I mean,
I'd be out there trying
take
to
90
test
seconds
Annika Cooper.
or whatever time you got.
I also don't detect any real strategy for Prop and Shpiz.
I think they're looking to set up the right ball to hit, and they just haven't found enough of them. And along the way, you know, Cooper and Hanisch are just
15
playing
all.
too well.
They got away with that volley.
Yeah, but again, that's a down-up type of shot. The ball's got the apex. She's crushing it down, Hanisch. Now she nets it, but not going to
That's a shot
survive.
she's going to make a lot more
Yeah.
than she's going to miss.
And they're, you know, they're going to force a ton of errors out of Prop and Shpiz there. Nice. There's the overhead that I want to see. Long and deep, and time after time. Oh!
15-30.
I mean, she had a great shot, changing her over it, getting it low at Cooper's feet. Shpiz got the high volley. I mean, Prop's got the high volley, but collective groan from the hometown fans for Heather Prop's miss there. Oh, great get!
Tremendous get from Cooper.
Oh, great hip shot. And she
But
does not
again-
have her paddle in front of her body
30
there.
all.
Reaching with the forehand.
Yeah, and I think she was
540,
surprised. And I also think
540.
Cooper did an awesome job of sort of disguising that ball with her body. She sort of turned on it at the last second, and Shpiz was out of sorts. So 2 set points here.
And 4 love Dardis and Shea. Making you look like a genius, Brad.
Wow, one back.
30-40.
Set point number 2.
High formation.
I like that. They're going to have to throw in a lot more looks. Oh, I mean,
Game
good
and
set there from Cooper and
Hanisch.
Hanisch.
They
And
won
not a
the
great
first
set
set,
from Prop and Shpiz.
6-2.
They had chances early. Okay, we'll be back with the second set right here on the APTA Network, sponsored by eNet Live.
When people think of Roto-Rooter, they typically think plumbing and water cleanup. They wouldn't be wrong, but there's also more to the picture. We do a little of this, we do a little of that. We clean things up and we check things out. Yeah, we may do both, but we also do a whole lot more. Roto-Rooter, yeah, we do that too.
The world of Rolex is filled with stories of perpetual excellence. Since 1990, the Solheim Cup has elevated women's golf. Team USA challenges Team Europe, upholding the traditions of sportsmanship and teamwork. As the women's game grows, the Solheim Cup will continue to shape its future. This is a story of perpetual excellence. The story of Rolex.
All right, welcome back to our action here in the women's semifinal match. And they're underway with 2 points, the first 2 points in this first game of the second set going to Prop and Shpiz. So it's love 30, love 40 now. So for Prop and Shpiz, and what do you think of that first set, Mark?
I thought Prop and Shpiz had some chances, but just didn't execute in the big moments to put some pressure on Cooper Hanisch. They let him play well, in my opinion.
Yeah, Cooper Hanisch played very well. Wasn't error-free, but they took a lot of shots at the right times. They mixed their lobs and drives well. They went off the net at the right times and, just outplayed him. But like you said, Prop and Shpiz have got to execute much better than what they did in that first set.
I mean, they had 4 game points in the first 2 games.
And they missed like a lob, missed a volley.
Lob, an overhead,
15-40.
Right.
and 2 faults.
And then that last game there, you had Prop with 2 high volleys, just missed them.
Platform is a game of the big points. You have to play the big points well. And to me, that was the difference in that set. See if they can close this game out.
Well, what I'd love to see from Prop and Shpiz is go error-free for a bit.
30-40.
Now, that's not error-free. Can't miss that ball.
Yep.
I'd go error-free for like a little bit.
Yep.
Slow it down just a little, cool off Hanisch and Cooper, and take a few spot drives here and there, and don't worry so much about one shot or another. Just get your teeth into the match, start to grind. There we go. There's a gift game with 3 faults from Hanisch.
1-0.
I mean, have to say Cooper and Hanisch playing very well, but the serving, that's
Not
the
so
Achilles
well.
heel right now.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
so well. But it's such a combination when you allow the other team to play well by not putting pressure on them, by making errors on the big points.
Right.
You've got to put them in position to play worse. And that said, Prop and Shpiz put Cooper and Hanisch in the situation to play better. Your opponents just don't play well and you play poorly. It's a combination of it, obviously.
Without a doubt.
Where they really need a hold here.
We talked about it earlier. They really can't play from behind, but at this point, it's almost moot. They just have to play better, execute.
Well, they're hitting way too many overheads into the Cooper backhand.
Yes, way too many.
15-love.
When you play Cooper and Hanisch, you have to play the middle of the court more, and you're seeing too many of those down-up overheads into the Cooper backhand. Now, they won that point, but that's a point they're going to lose more than they're going to win.
I was surprised to see Hanisch drive that ball. She's usually relatively disciplined with that.
15-all.
And
There's
there's
that dipping return followed by the Cooper blitz.
like we talked about in the keys to winning. But the great way about Cooper and Hanisch have done it, they haven't won points one way. They've won a few points this way and quite a few. And there's 2.
15-30.
But then they'll back off the net and play from the back. And it feels like Prop and Shpiz
15-30.
are always caught on the wrong end of how they want to play each of these points. That's just awesome. And again, is it hit hard?
15-40.
No. Apex of the bounce, dipping down. Great.
Here's where I'd
great
like
return.
to see Prop and Shpiz stay back.
Yeah.
They lost 3 points in a row on return to serve.
Stay back, play some error-free points. Because the other thing that's happening right now, too, I mean, I guess it hit the seam.
Cooper Hanisch. Set scores 1-all.
It's like we talked about earlier. You've got to stop losing points on return to serve.
Their
Right.
serve.
I'd love to see them make Cooper and Hanisch, because they're, winning and losing, but they're so loose right now, Cooper Hanisch.
Again,
You got to make it tight.
you got to put pressure on them.
There's the underhand serve. Great put away drop there.
15-love.
Underhand or overhead, Brad?
I think she's going to go underhand. I think we got some
Rain
raindrops
starting
starting
to
to come.
drops. You're right,
see
Brad. Overhand. Boy, just hemorrhaging errors now.
30 love.
Yeah, these shouldn't be errors.
Yeah, that's just a ball you can't afford to miss at this level of battle.
Nice pace there from Shpiz. Good roll.
Underhand or overhand, Brad?
I'm not going again. Overhand. I think we got a pattern.
Good call, Brad. Good serve.
That was a good serve. It actually looked like a confident serve. Toss up and in front. She went up for it. Used her legs. It's kind of an aggressive paddle serve in that one. Great shot. I'm not sure what she was thinking on that. I mean, it was a 1.5 feet in.
I was thinking the same thing. What is she doing?
I thought she thought it was going out, and then when it landed so far in, she tried to half volley it. It took me a little bit by surprise.
I think Juana Riot taught her that shot.
Yeah.
Looks like, oh, fakes it underhand.
Good lob, quick lob there from Prop.
Well, as the conditions are deteriorating, I would say play is going in the same direction.
Yeah, the raindrops are coming. That's good dunking overhead. That's a great drive. Nice get there from Cooper.
Good decision by Shpiz to bail there.
She's not going to get into net in time. Oh. That's great movement from Cooper. Great point.
Cooper Hanisch 1.
Boy, that was a game they really needed.
Yeah, they can't afford to get behind.
You can see the players changing attire. Hanisch is putting her rain jacket on,
Yep.
as is Shpiz. Supposed to be a lovely weekend in Cincinnati, Brad.
A
You bring your
little bit
umbrella?
of what they call precipitation, Mark.
Yeah, tomorrow's supposed to be 70 and rain all day long.
Yeah, almost a record high tomorrow. Then apparently it's supposed to drop the temperature, and Sunday's supposed to be nice for the men's semis and the finals. Should mention we have action all day, starting with our women's finals in the morning.
I think that's scheduled for 9 a.m.
And then we'll run into the men's round of 16 and quarterfinal matches.
And we might even be able to get a men's 32 in, depending on the timing.
That would be terrific. Little bonus action.
But we'll see as the day unfolds. So Hanisch put the jacket on and then took it off. I think that was a fake, Brad, designed to confuse them.
Could be. It's a wily player there, that Hanisch.
Winning
Cagey.
volley.
And she's got the, actually that's a pretty cool war mitt there. Like a camo leopard printy thing.
She got that in Tanzania when she was on safari.
I can't tell if it's a checkerboard or I think it is a little checkerboard there.
Okay, let's see if Prop and Shpiz can continue their winning ways here.
That's a heck of a volley, but what a shot from Cooper, taking a ball from under the net and doing the smart thing, going right at the body. You either lob that volley, dink it, or you go straight at him.
She the best blitzer in the game, Brad?
Certainly one of them. I mean, Hanisch is right up there too. But self-blitzer, probably, yes. And by self-blitzer, I mean she's looking to blitz on her own. Most of the teams do it where the returner hits a big return and the other player starts to move first. That's just great. Again, right at the top and then stuffing a volley at prop there.
And that's all court positioning. In tight, able to catch the ball early, able to close the net off.
But how many points do you think Prop and Shpiz have won through a combination of overheads, where they've put Cooper and Hanisch out of position and then won the point?
One?
One
Zero?
or none. It's
Yeah.
really just Cooper and Hanisch have ripped the ball but hit it in the net. You know, if you're Prop and Shpiz, that's out. Great
30
play.
all.
You got to be willing to let something go once in a while. Get back there, throw up the high lob, and then I honestly think they got a lob better.
Yeah, the pace of play has been just wrong for them.
It could be that this weather might start working for them a little bit. If that ball starts to pick up more and more of that moisture, and they keep it lower in the court, even get it to skid once in a while, that'll take a lot of starch out of the Cooper-Hanisch attack. That's a great dig. Nice ball at the crease.
Great
Wow.
get from Cooper.
Yeah, but a couple of times now I've seen Shpiz without her paddle in front of her body on the
30,
backhand
40.
side. She's getting caught almost like getting hit with the ball.
Great forehand there from Hanisch off the hard overhead, and a point for 2 all.
Oh,
Game Cooper Hanisch.
Just haven't played the
That
game
score is
points
2
particularly
all.
well, Brad.
nope. Great play. By Cooper-Hanisch, good break. But they're close here. They just can't afford to fall behind.
They still haven't held serve.
Nope.
6 opportunities.
Wow, great soft hands there. Cooper's volleying really well.
Cooper's played very well with the
15
exception
love.
of her serve.
No, she's playing great. Yep. In fact, doing a ton of damage out there.
Returned well, volleyed well. I think the overheads have been pretty good. I'm going to try and get a score of her other semi with Dardis and Shea for
Yeah,
you
up
shortly.
4-0.
It's exactly what you predicted. I feel like the
30
wheels are
left.
coming off a little bit. Misses that they shouldn't be missing.
Yeah, that was a tough one, though. I liked that shot from Hanisch. She let the ball drop, little cut, pushed it long and low through the court. Ball slid a little on prop.
Okay, so Morgan Sikora up 6-4, 3 love.
How about that? So
What a change. Oh,
wait a minute.
We have a change.
we
Sorry
gotta
about
switch
that.
around. Morgan Sikora won the first set,
Set
6-4, after being down
Down 4
4 love.
Okay, there seems to be some debate about who won the first set, so we're gonna get back on that score.
So we have varying reports. This is it.
Look at that play from Cooper.
I love
how
it.
short in the court she was. Caught that ball early. Just great recognition of what's going on out there.
But again, I'd love to see, instead of hitting that overhead from high up over her shoulder, letting it drop, pushing it through the court. You got to start playing those shots a little differently.
That's great slot to lob in.
Cooper is literally killing them with that forward move into the court. And that's a heck of a all from Hanisch, not to be outdone.
Same
40
thing.
love.
Yep.
Short in the court, catches the ball early, hits it down.
But you don't see Hanisch sneak in the way Cooper does to one-time the ball. You know, she'll more hit the traditional big drive without the blitz follow. Cooper's just ready to pounce forward at all times. You cannot bounce the ball up in front of her. That's a huge drive from Shpiz.
Yep, there's that
40,
big
15.
forehand we talked about.
She does have a great forehand.
Right ball
Game,
just
Cooper,
fails to
Hanisch.
execute.
They lead 3-2.
Okay,
and
Clark
it's time for
Trophies
new
by
ball.
Max Lepavere, your #1 destination
Yeah,
for
just
all
put it out.
trophies and prizes. Clark Trophies, better quality, faster service.
Yeah, they do a great job. I've used them many times.
So, Brad, prop and Shpiz, any thoughts, or is the water going down the drain here?
Well, they're close here, so it's 3-2, you know, and there are no answers yet. And they haven't found, I wouldn't say the water's down the drain, but
Going down the drain, I said.
right. But I don't see any answers yet, and I don't see a commitment to a change in anything. It's almost like they're waiting, hopefully, for something to break in their right direction. I think they might have to change the way they think about it. They got to get a hold. I would play the longest service game humanly possible here. At any rate, give them no points on the blitz here.
Well, it's interesting in terms of what you said.
15
So there are no
love.
answers. I would posit that they're not asking enough questions.
Fair enough.
Play some long points, pound the middle of the court. Make Cooper beat you with her forehand.
But not just any forehand, because she'll take the ball at the
15-0.
apex with the forehand too and dip it down with a blitz too.
But get the ball deep in the court.
Correct.
Prevent her from
Deep,
doing that.
long, let the ball drop, play it off her right hip. We haven't seen any sort of diet of shots that has made Cooper and Hanisch uncomfortable at all.
And you have a
15,
fault and a
30.
routine missed overhead there.
Right. All right, we see the court starting to dry up a little, so whatever that rain in there is the blitz with the almost get. Nope, too good.
15-40.
You see a little limp there from Heather Prop.
Yeah, but again, it's the reliance on the traditional strategies that they're going to have to change. It's sort of like, even if you're playing, let's say you go to the casino, Mark, you play blackjack, you win a hand, right? Now you think, I won a hand, that's great. But the odds are for the house. The house here is Cooper and Hanisch. You cannot play this game with the house odds. You got to change those odds, and they're just not.
There's a good backhand from Prop.
30-40.
It's a great backhand, well spotted.
As the room erupts in applause.
I don't think they can afford to go behind 4-2.
Well, the good news is Cooper's serving next, which is the only source of their winning games other than one from Hanisch. But yes, I agree. They can't afford to fall behind.
That's a great serve, challenger. Big serve that time, harder. Nice
This
play.
would be really big if they could find their way out of this game on the positive end.
Gutsy. Reaching, great move, forward move from Hanisch.
And there's that big
Game to
forehand from
Cooper
Cooper,
Hanisch.
and they go up
Cooper
4-2.
Hanisch lead 4-2.
If they're going to play so much net, then get on top of it. Like 1 inch from it. Oh,
Love 15.
Overhand or underhand, Brad?
I think she's overhand to the ad, underhand to the deuce.
Good call.
Oh. Oh, great lob in between the players. Let it drop. See, there's the sky hook overhead that's going to kill him over the long run.
15-0.
It's a great shot.
And then there you see Prop's knee kind of bothering her. That's a ball she didn't slide to the middle. Normally she would have hit that overhead. She really kind of locked up.
We talked about that in the beginning, and we probably should have mentioned it more. It might be
15,
hard.
30.
Wow, those two serves to that side, tough. It might be hard. You know, it's hard for us to know how limiting her meniscus tear is. I actually have a tear in my left meniscus now. It certainly hurts a ton with lateral movement, and your legs don't feel stable underneath you. So she's a true warrior out there, still just competing. Oh, what a volley. Love how they just give up the net. One of them does.
Great lob from Hanisch.
Oh, what a shot from
15,
Shpiz.
30.
All right, overhand or underhand. It's been underhand twice in a row with 2 faults here.
When do you think she decides? Looks like overhand there. The grip's overhand. But I guess there's no reason not to go overhand when your last 2 underhand
Missed
serves
2 underhands in
missed
a row.
by 10 feet.
30,
Is missing
40.
that by 3 inches.
Good swing.
Big swing. Goes for a small spot on the court.
It's a ball she's got to make Cooper volley.
Correct. I think when you feel like you're down like that, you feel like you have to hit the perfect shot. When in reality, it's not the case. You just have to keep playing the right points. Still, it's a good swing. Love that ball. And that's for one of the players, everybody to watch back home, where the overheads land. See, if it lands in front of the service box like that, that thing can get tattooed, and it did, but they're smiling because they know they got away with one there.
That's been the story of the match, though, hasn't it, Brad? That the opportunity that Shpiz has had, she just hasn't taken advantage of.
Yeah, they're getting less opportunities in general, and the ones they're getting, they're running at a lower percentage.
There's a nice serve from Cooper.
Wow. Oh, they actually fooled Hanisch there, went at her a couple of times.
Especially when Cooper was in the backcourt.
I like that play because Hanisch is great at closing it off, but that time they got her on the defensive. Well done. Big. They need this. Just missed.
Deuce.
It's 3 good looks on the Shpiz forehand. Gotta execute those.
Add out.
Little miss hit. Just admonishing herself, telling herself to go forward, take the ball earlier.
So earlier I asked you for prediction on the Dardish-Shea match. You want to predict what score they're going to come back with now?
I will predict that a score will come back.
That's brave, Brad.
Incredibly brave.
And here comes Jackie Cameron.
With a score?
Question is it the right score?
It's a tough task we gave.
Okay, so Dardish-Shea won the first set 6-4.
Okay.
And are up 2-1 in the second.
Now, whether or not you choose to believe that out there is up to you. But that's the official score.
That's a good call by you, Brad. Not to bet against Dardish-Shea.
All right, deuce, back and forth. Keep fighting. That's what Prop and Shpiz have to do. Keep fighting their way. See if they can find a crack. Cooper Hanisch armor.
But again,
Other than the serve.
that's a pretty big crack. Although the last 4 or 5 serves have been pretty good.
Add out.
Did you hear that groan from behind us, Brad?
Could that be? Yeah,
That's Cooper's serving coach. He's probably going to get fired.
Good chance of that. Nice. Is there a team better in transition on the women's side than Cooper and Hanisch?
Are we counting Gabby Nicolescu?
Yeah, I'll count her because I'm actually talking about a team. Gabby individually, yeah, you'd have to put her right in there.
Yeah, I think Gabby's the best mover on the women's tour. I think Gabby's got the best overhead in the women's tour. I think Gabby's the best at virtually everything in the women's tour. As a team, I agree with you.
Prop Shpiz 3.
Well,
That was a huge, huge win and nicely helped along by the serving woes.
well, the
So
good
prop-
news for Cooper is if they win these next 2 games, she doesn't have to serve again.
Well, it's 4-3 now. You know, the bad news now for Prop and Shpiz, they've got to get a hold.
They still have not acquired one the entire match.
All right, look at that huge forehand. And that's sort of a microcosm, a little bit of some of the match, too, that you mentioned a little bit, Mark. This is a great swing and a good look. Shpiz in that game, they did end up winning that, but she had 3 looks, and they ended up with 3 mistakes. And it feels like it's too tight for that to be the case. They're going to have to make those. I'm not saying they were even bad swings.
But to me, the point is, you don't in paddle. You never go around somebody. You always go through them. So you have to err on the side of too close to Hanisch there, as opposed to too wide.
Yep.
Okay, Wendy Shpiz to serve, and to say they need a hold would be an understatement.
I like that. The serve and stay back from Shpiz. You know, the funny stuff is, though, I think the meniscus thing definitely, as I think about it more, is affecting Prop here, especially in those transition moves. Like, say Hanisch drives that ball through and Prop has to transition back. And even on something
That
like
ball,
that. I mean, I
absolutely.
think that is 100% her knee, or at least looks that way to me. So we talked earlier about Cooper's elbow, but I think really the keys to victory might have been one of the things which we didn't know about early, which was Prop's knee. Yeah, and she has 0 chance of transitioning back.
And she's hobbling now.
30.
But again, serving and coming in against Cooper has just killed him.
Okay, there's a hand signal. Open hand, shifting over there. She's going to the side. Nice job. Yeah, she can't get back for the overhead either. It's tricky.
But I guess if the knee is bothering her that much, are you surprised they didn't switch sides at the net to have the Shpiz forehand in the middle?
It's a great point. You know, you can always think of a way to try to mitigate a circumstance or to work with it.
Here they are both staying back against Cooper, which I think is a really smart play.
Great ball. Yeah, Cooper overplayed that a little. Didn't need to hit such a good shot. Prop not coming in behind it.
But again, they stay back. They win the point. See if Shpiz comes in here. I'd like to see her staying back and playing another patient point.
I think she is. And I think Prop's staying. And that's good. Getting Hanisch to guess a little. All right. One more here.
So do you like
30-40.
Prop
30-40.
back, or would you rather see prop at the net and Shpiz staying back?
Well, I like this in that it's just a commitment, to both of them back. I like the other play they used just before with Shpiz staying back and prop at the net trying to cut it off. The concern is prop's ability to transition back when the ball goes behind. Good block, the ball going at the crease. Good challenging Shpiz. Oh, great volley. Great volley from Hanisch.
Game, Cooper Hanisch. Set score is Cooper Hanisch 5, prop Shpiz 3.
Okay, they'll serve for the match.
Oh, that's so smart. I love it.
15
She
love.
recognized that prop was way too deep in the court and
Yeah.
took it right at her.
And also that prop may not be able to, have full movement, and really made Shpiz go. Couldn't catch up to it. Smart shot.
I think with the exception of the aforementioned Gabby Nicolescu, Hanisch has the best overhead in the game. Really like
Roxy
that
can
hard
roll
overhead.
the ball pretty well at various times. I'd say Amy Shea has a great overhead. She lets that ball drop, cuts it a little.
Yeah, her overhead's a little more of a defensive overhead, whereas
But she
Hanisch really
hits it
attacks
like
you.
body shots, jabs. You can't drive them that well. She keeps coming after you with it.
Too much cat and mouse there, although Shpiz gets away with it.
Yep. That's a good play.
Good lob.
All right, good point here. So just keep playing this point. Oh,
Another
30
seam.
love.
it's a shame.
2 points from the match.
Great positive
30 love.
reinforcement from Shpiz there. Too bad.
Oof.
Oh, just huge, but cannot hit that ball down to her backhand
Yeah, it's
like
the
that.
same
Time
spot.
and time again. All right, triple match point here.
You think they know that the Cooper backhand is the spot in the court you have to avoid?
Apparently not. Oh, that is it. Game, set, and match
Game,
for Cooper and
Hanisch.
Hanisch, who look
Set
very
score,
good other than
6-3.
some serving woes there, Mark.
Yeah, they look real good. I think they're going to be the favorites tomorrow, regardless who they play against. We're gonna get you
Regardless, I think you'd have to say that.
one
So-
final score before we go off the air.
4-2 in the second set for Dardashay. So they're up 6-4 and 4-2 against Sakura and Morgan. And we'll be back tomorrow, Mark, with our women's final at 9 a.m. And that's a wrap, delivered by Uline.